The NBA has a major problem, and this whole problem is centered around one man. Before I get into that, I did a little research and I realized a good 83% of y'all who enjoy the content aren't subscribed to the channel. So make sure you like the video and subscribe to the page. It helps us grow, and we appreciate you. Welcome to the Shattered family. So recently, Stephen A. Smith just appeared on Gil's Arena to speak about what happened between him and LeBron James. Now, I waited to drop a video about this because I wanted to get some more information and allow everything to come out. And I am so glad I did. If there's one person that can dig his own grave, it's Stephen A. Smith, and I'm gonna show you exactly why.
What do you make of LeBron confronting you in the aftermath of that situation?
I thought it was weak. I thought it was some bullshit. But in the moment, I knew that I was listening to a father.
We're gonna stop right there. That's super duper corny.
You never saw me at games. For the better part of the last 25 years, I've been at an average of 120 games a year. You ain't seen me. You didn't see me sitting courtside with your former owner. You didn't see me at a couple of Phoenix games. You didn't see me there.
You didn't say that on ESPN.
Let's not ignore the level of physicality that once existed in the NBA. These brothers, Molly, would roll up. They'd find you in a hotel lobby or a restaurant before the game. It wasn't talk. In the game, it was physical. Off the court, it would be physical. I mean, they saw each other. You see what I'm saying? LeBron didn't have to deal with that.
So you waited to get in front of Gil's Arena and his audience to give your real feelings about it, calling it weak and everything else. Why was it weak?
We were at the Staples Center. Kyrie rolls up on me. He taps me on the back and he's like, "You still got that same energy face to face?" I said, "I'm standing here, you know."
Why? Because he approached you right then and there in that moment?
Kobe could vouch for this. D-Wade could vouch for this. CP could vouch for this. Melo, others. There's a lot of people that could vouch for this. All you got to do is come talk to me.
That's it.
You don't, I don't have to agree with you. I don't have to, we could cuss each other out.
You spoke about his son publicly, so he approached you publicly. We'll get more into that later.
I'm sitting courtside, and I stand up, and then I got my head turned. And I turn around, and he's right here in my face. He said, "Yo, you gotta stop talking shit about my son. You gotta stop fucking with my son. That's my son, that's my son." And I was like, "What?" He said, "Nah, fuck that." I said, "Yo, let's talk later." He's like, "Fuck that, nah, fuck that. You gotta stop fucking with my son."
All right, so if you don't know what he's talking about, during the game against the Knicks, where LeBron James and them boys had a little comeback, got the dub. I ain't gonna say that's the GOAT. That's the GOAT. All right, let me chill. So during that game, there was footage of LeBron James approaching Stephen A. Smith to talk to him about his son in regards to how he covers his son. That's what this is about. Let's get back into it.
Seeing Bronny, and Bronny looked over at me, and he had this sad look on his face. And I'm imagining Pop saw that shit, and it hit him. Yeah. And he couldn't hold it, and he rolled up on me. And so when I went on the air the next morning, but I didn't have any intentions on talking about it until I woke up that morning and saw that the shit had gone viral. The bosses at ESPN, now you gotta talk about it. This is you and him.
See, this point right here is what pisses me off. They made me talk about this. I wasn't even gonna talk about this. Well, who made you talk about it on your own show? Who controls the Stephen A. Smith show?
I thought that he misrepresented the argument. I was glad he did. What he was really talking about, which was confirmed with his conversation with Richard Jefferson, is that I was talking about him as a father. Had he said that to me, I'd have came right back at him. Yes, I was. You did this shit.
All right, that's corny. I'm gonna tell you why that's corny. First of all, what he's trying to do is remove the context of the conversation, talking about him as a father. But when you are having this conversation, begging him to stop.
I am pleading with LeBron James as a father. Stop this. We all know that Bronny James is in the NBA because of his dad.
Doing what he was doing was after Bronny James had a poor showing versus the Philadelphia 76ers, where because of multiple injuries, Bronny James was thrown into a game in which he was ill-prepared for. He was flown in last minute, and he was kind of put in a bad situation.
Yeah, just felt like on a back-to-back, just him giving us energy, I think, was the goal. Maybe put him in a tough spot flying up yesterday and, nationally televised game, and he didn't play well, but he's been playing great, you know, in the Stay Ready games, and he's been playing great in the G, so.
And he was cooked by Tyrese Maxey, who was a perennial star. Like, this is disgusting. This is how you know Stephen A. Smith just speaks on things he doesn't even watch. In this broadcast where he started to talk about Bronny James and what he was not able to produce at that point in time, he brought up his stats, right?
Bronny James has played in 13 NBA games. Ladies and gentlemen, he's averaging 0.3 points, 0.3 assists, and 0.4 rebounds. He shot 1 for 16 from the field in his NBA career and 0 for 7 from three-point range. And he's playing in the first quarter of an NBA game?
I thought that was funny to me. Let's put proper context in the conversation. You're speaking about the fact that Bronny James is a failure in his NBA career up to this point, which he is not. He's literally where any 55th overall pick would be in this situation. Nobody brings up the 17th pick from the year prior, Jalen Hood-Schifino, who in the NBA averaged 1.6 points, 0.6 rebounds, 0.4 assists on 22-13 shooting splits. But we wasn't begging Jalen's father to come and stop. And that was the 17th, not the 55th pick in the second round, laying on his son about what his son is not able to do in garbage time, or when everybody else was injured in that Philadelphia game that you were reporting on. Gabe Vincent was injured. Vanderbilt wasn't back yet. That was AD's last game in LA, and he got injured. That's why he played, because it was last minute and didn't have anybody else. That's why. But you won't speak on that because you don't watch the NBA. You don't watch the games. You're just talking. All that energy you talking with, you're just talking. Trash. Trash. And y'all be nut riding this man for what?
I just agreed to my contract. It's all over everywhere. Watch it, I be right. It's a nationally televised game, and I'm like, if I do anything, this is gonna be a scene. Damn it, I work for Walt Disney. And if I had gotten into some shit with him at courtside right there at that moment, no matter how right I would have been, it would have been wrong.
Stop it. Like, what were you going to do? Stop this tough guy stuff. He code switches so much. It's insane when y'all pay attention to it. When he's on ESPN, he doesn't speak like this. He gets on Gil's Arena. Oh, now I'm tough. I'm tough Stephen A. Smith. Yo, bro, stop it, man.
What happened was, this man was the one that said, you want me? Draft him. I'll come play anywhere he's at. It ain't even about the money. This man is the one who said he's better than some of the NBA players are right now. If you go back and look at the tape, back then I said, stop.
Do I agree with LeBron James saying wherever my son is, I'll play? Absolutely. At this point in time, it was widely known that LeBron James was going towards the end of his career. And the one dream he had was to play with his son, which is not crazy. And for LeBron James to have the pride and bravado to speak about his son in that juncture isn't crazy at all. As a father myself, I'm going to speak highly about my children. That's exactly what I'm going to do. It's the fact that LeBron James has the platform and the voice for it actually to matter what he has to say. Was he wrong for saying that Bronny was better than some of the NBA players? Absolutely not, because this NBA has Jalen Hood-Schifino, the Nassus, and a bevy of other players that's just here to be here. That's not crazy. Now, when LeVar Ball said that his son was better than Steph Curry, you need to relax.
He goes to USC. He got the heart ailment. I'm like, thank God he's okay. He gonna be all right. I'm not gonna go see him at USC, just like I didn't go see him at Sierra Canyon.
Okay, cool. I'm glad he brought up the ailment. Right, the heart ailment. I spoke about this a little bit on my show, Point A, Point B. If you're not subscribed to Shattered Network on Twitch, stop right now. Make sure you go subscribe because you're gonna be missing out. At that time, we spoke about the fact that Bronny James went through a situation where most people don't come out from. I play sports. I know how it feels to injure my knee and then being able to come back and trust my body again and how difficult that is. Because for one, you have to heal physically, then you have to heal mentally. Could you imagine the mental gymnastics it takes to get over your heart stopping?
Listen to me, okay? Your ambulance here now.
While playing the sport he loves, mind you. And we see this in the NFL. From Damar Hamlin, who played for the Buffalo Bills, who had a cardiac arrest situation on the field. When he came back from that, he was championed and celebrated as he should have been because he went through something serious. This is my problem with the Bronny James situation. This Serious ailment. And if you took his name away from him, and his story was that he almost passed playing basketball, coming back to follow his dream, getting drafted 55th would have been celebrated. But because it's LeBron James' son, we have to cast a negative cloud over his play whenever he's not successful, but not talk about when he is. He's averaging 20 points in the G League right now, a place where he's supposed to develop. Where Jalen Hood-Schifino, our pick from last year, the Lakers pick from last year, is averaging 25. He's right there with the first round pick, but we don't speak about that. The same thing Jalen did last year. He was split between the G League and the NBA games. He sucked in the NBA. He played pretty well in the G League. That's what happened.
Yeah, you know, we just gonna go along with it. Opening night I'm talking about. Opening night, and Bron, we just gonna go along with it. Or you hearing the Lakers are just going along with it. I still say nothing. I'm at Crypto.com Arena. I'm one of those cats standing there. Again, I've been covering it for 30 years. So how you think it's all looking to me? It's a little bit too choreographed. I'm thinking, let's have this moment because LeBron deserves it. The brother, I got him number 2 all time behind Jordan.
Okay, so this is where we start talking about Stephen A. Smith as a pundit, right? Or whatever you want to call him, right? This is my problem with Stephen A. Smith. What he has a tendency of doing, right, is filtering all his information through a negative lens. By starting off this conversation with LeBron James by saying, I got him number 2 all time.
LeBron is number 2 all time behind Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
As usual.
You're constantly comparing him to a person you don't even need to. Just start off your topic by saying what you want to speak about LeBron James. You don't have to start off with saying, I got him top 2, number 2 all time behind Michael Jordan. Consistently, who's the GOAT? Who's the GOAT? Go on YouTube and search Stephen A. Smith GOAT debate. You'll be pleased to find as many things as you want to watch, as many videos dating from last week to last month to a year ago to 3 years ago on different podcasts, on different shows, asking different people. You can't miss it. He's been doing it for years. He makes all his money off of it. And this is the reason why the face debate.
Why do you want to be the face of a league when all the people that, you know, that cover our game and talk about our game on a day-to-day basis on everybody?
Became so prevalent is because when it comes to the NBA, Stephen A. Smith and the people who work at ESPN, every time anything is done, anytime any milestone is completed, anytime anybody wins a championship, anytime anybody breaks a record, we have to compare them to a man that played 40 years ago that people just can't take out their mouth. I understand why people do not want to be the face of the league. It's for this reason. How do you promote future stars and their success by comparing them with the past and then saying they'll never be better than the past? People don't realize that actually hurts the NBA product. When Jordan was playing, they didn't compare him to past stars. There wasn't a GOAT debate happening. He was allowed to flourish and grow, no matter all the negative things he did, that these stars today would never be able to get away with. You need an example? Draymond Green punched Jordan Poole. It was all over TV. They talked about it for days on ESPN. Michael Jordan punched Steve Kerr, the coach of the Warriors. It's fine.
I just haul off and hit him right in the
He's competitive. Let LeBron James step away from the game for a year or two. Oh my God. The way they would drag him through the mud would be insane. Michael Jordan does it. It's well deserved. Same thing with Chuck. Spit on kids, threw people through windows, say I didn't want to be a leader.
I am not a role model.
That's perfectly fine. Players back then were allowed to go crazy. That's why this hurts the product, because you're comparing them to the past, who had a different set of rules. On top of that, when it comes to how much money LeBron has generated for the league,
he's done so much for the league. He's generated so much money. I don't want to hear about Bronny and the $8 million. As far as I'm concerned, LeBron underpaid.
And then still gets the disrespect that he gets and has to protect his children on this matter, shows exactly what we're talking about. See, Stephen A. Smith won't say, as much as he has LeBron James number 2 in his list, as you can see from this $100 million contract he just signed with ESPN, he has made more money off of LeBron James than he ever did with Michael Jordan.
Steve, this how simple it goes. It goes this simple.
Please.
You've always been stand-up Steve. So whenever it's a situation that we looking to Steve to stand up and they're trying to take that away from you, you got to look at it. From my perspective, I'm like, I'm always the one that's going to say something. And I'm going to be always the one that's the hater. Because what I'm saying is in opposition to what everyone either believes or has been told.
Okay.
So I've always taken the Stephen A. Smith seat.
Okay.
I'm gonna say it. Yeah, I said it. I know some of y'all feel that way, and I know some of y'all watching what I'm watching. But it's not a critique. It's just what I'm seeing. It's an observation.
Big Gills Arena, usually I love your program. I understand why y'all do what y'all do, especially with Rashad being who he is. He farms clips and stuff like that. He encourages engagement because people hate the fact that he says what he has to say. I get the psychology behind it. I get why you guys do what you do, right? But it's this I have an issue with, right? You guys talked a whole bunch of crap about Stephen A. Smith until he got here.
Hi, I'm Larry, since you want the invitation. What I'm gonna ask you to come and put your fucking legs in the fucking bag. Come put your fucking legs in here, Steven.
And now we just throw in everything he had to say.
There's plenty of times in my career where I've laid back and I haven't said anything and I've waited.
But you holding back sometimes works against you because you could have said it when everybody was feeling it, knowing we all saying it, right? And we waiting on stand-up Steve to say it because that's gonna validate it.
Right. Shut up, Rashad. Just shut up. You sound stupid. Because if Stephen A. Smith knew what the hell he was talking about, then he would have had a point to be made. But he don't. All this does is validates to me. None of you actually watch the NBA. And for Stephen A. Smith to be that guy who says, oh, I actually cover the NBA. I'm on the phone calls and I'm at the games.
Most cats talk about the league. I cover it. What I mean by that is that you can give your opinion. You might not be on the phone with the commissioner.
You don't really follow the sport. You don't actually watch it. To be able to go and create these narratives about Bronny, right, without actually looking at the context of when he's playing, it's dark work. And then Rashad is sitting there looking for somebody to validate the hate that he has for that man's father, instead of actually talking about what's really going on. It's disgusting too. This is wild.
What I'm saying to you is, if LeBron had rolled up on me, this is all he had to say, because I said this to Rich Paul when Rich Paul called me. I said, Rich Paul, I only asked for grace in one level, on one point. If you had called me and said, Ron pissed off, he wants to see you man to man, I said, what would I have done? Rich Paul said, you'd have hung up the phone and you'd flew to LA. I said, thank you. Rather than come up to me at courtside, all you had to do was say, yo, I need you to stay, don't leave this game. That's all he had to say to me. Then as we speak, you said, you fucking with my son. No, I wasn't. I was talking about you. I was talking about you, but I was talking about your ass. You did this. You the one that had us as reporters, as a league, as an NBA franchise. All of us gotta sit back and be quiet and capitulate to your shit.
Come on now.
You did that. When it come to me, everybody get crickets. That motherfucker Stephen A. on his own. That's fucked up. I'm on my own. When number one, we know I'm right. Number two, we know the perspective that I'm coming from is real and it's authentic. Number three, he set this up. Number four, all you had to do was tell me.
Stephen A. Smith won't ever take accountability for the things he says. And you would think after all the things he has said over time, he would take some kind of accountability, right? Like you didn't take accountability when you said this?
But what I've tried to employ the female members of my family, some of who you all met and talked to and what have you, is that, again, and this is what I've done this all my life, let's make sure we don't do anything to provoke wrong actions. Because if I come or somebody else come, whether it's law enforcement officials, your brother, or the fellas that you know, if we come after somebody has put their hands on you, it doesn't negate the fact that they already put their hands on you. So let's try to make sure that we can do our part in making sure that that doesn't happen.
And they sat your ass down and suspended you for what you said? Because that was crazy as hell? Blaming women for domestic abuse? Or it wasn't a problem when you said this?
They gave up Kwame Brown. Who cares? Kwame Brown is gone. The City of Angels, Hollywood, just should be celebrated. Throw a parade already, whether you win a championship or not. This man was a bona fide scrub. He can't play. He has small hands. He can't catch the ball. He's got bad feet. He can't really move, even though he's mobile. Doesn't really know what he's doing. Doesn't have a post move that he puts to memory. Doesn't have the heart, the passion, or anything that comes with it. And you're asking me whether they gave up too much? Please.
Then turn around and had to apologize for because how strong your voice was
No, remember you said this?
Kwame Brown, I wish I could do that over. I wouldn't do it. I know what I said. I did mean it. I ain't gonna sit here and tell you I ain't mean the shit I said. But I didn't know it was gonna be like this. Remember?
Right. See, Stephen A., the problem is everybody doesn't know basketball. Like, you know basketball. Like, shut the fuck up. Regardless of LeBron James or how you feel about him, no matter what, he didn't use his cachet to get Bronny James as a #1 pick. He used his cachet just to make sure Bronny James had a chance to be the 55th pick in the second round. A pick that doesn't even matter. And if you're trying to argue that Bronny James took an opportunity from somebody else, if you're not good enough to be better than the 55th pick, I don't want to hear about you anyway, because there's a good chance I'll never hear about you. Let's stop. Let's stop. If you got a problem with the coverage that Bronny James is getting during his negative times in the NBA, rather than all the other rookies actually putting up numbers, then that's a problem with the media. There's no building future stars. The NBA has a serious problem, and his name is Stephen Anthony Smith. For more content like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel and break away from mainstream media. Join the Shatter family and be a rebel to the cause. And to see shows like Point A, Point B, The Locker Room, and Overly Opinionated, make sure you subscribe to Shatter Network on Twitch. Because without a doubt, we got so many things to talk about.